Hello everyone and welcome as usual to CITAM ChurchOnline talk show, and we're so pleased to be here. My name is Laura, and of course I am joined by the lovely
Kerry Kagiri. It's a spirit of meekness and
quiet spirit.
and of course brother Kim mwenyewe.
Yes,
this is why I shout psych.
Yeah, that was a big one because
Yes.
you know Kerry carries life wherever
Yes.
she goes. But anyway, we're so pleased to be here, and today as we start off another 4-week conversation series, we want to start by just talking about something that many times when we talk about it makes us feel some type of way, angry,
Yeah.
bored, tired, and that's corruption.
Yes.
In the recent cases, in the recent days, we've seen some things in the media about even with COVID, there are people taking advantage.
Imagine.
We may not know how true whatever is, you know, and especially how deep it goes.
Yes.
Because there's always an element. I want to believe there's always an element of truth. We just may not know the depth of it.
Yeah.
But either way, bottom line, this corruption thing is something we've fought as a nation for years on
Yes.
end. So how do you guys feel, and what can you just say on this impending issue?
You know, this is one of the days when there were two families on the headline of a paper. And I was just looking at it and thinking of train up a child in the way they may go. And I'm like, were these children raised by their parents in this kind of way? It took me further because, as you said, there's always an element of truth.
Yeah.
I do not know the real story. And I can't speak from, but everywhere there's a smoke, there's a fire.
Yes.
And all the time we've been seeing, I feel like it just kept bringing up new cases of children and their families, of families doing this thing. And I recently was listening to John Corson, and he was talking about what the word training means. Training means teaching someone until they can do it as well. And I was like, So when I see train up a child in the way they should go, is training your child. Even these people who are parents and now their children, who are their parents? What did their parents train them to do? Anyone who's just corrupt was raised by a person,
Yeah.
was raised by a human being. And so what was that training that they received? They were trained, and so corruption, and corruption is in very little, little things that our families do, or human beings do, or even just the culture that you have in your home. And so for me, when I keep seeing anybody who's corrupt, basically, I'm like, who raised you?
Yeah.
Is that what they taught you? So you were trained, and you saw this thing happening so much to the very end of you can be able to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And then now you're training your children. And so it's a huge societal issue, and it's actually on the family basis.
Yes.
For me, my mom has told me, you know, there's this thing that was trending on TikTok, and you call your parent, you're like, Mom, I've been arrested by cops. Nini, pretend that you've fallen on the stairs,
Yeah.
so the cops are coming with me to the house.
Yes.
You've not seen that thing? So this, let me just tell the story quickly.
I've actually seen something like that.
Yeah,
but
so they're like-
but I think it's, as you're saying it, I'm just like, that's absurd.
Yeah, so you tell your dad, now you call Mr. Mugambi, eh?
Oh my
Hello,
God.
Mr. Mugambi, dad, I've been shikod hapa kwa junction, and I've told the police I'm running to come and take you to hospital. So pretend you've fallen up
man.
outside
Oh, my goodness.
your leg is broken.
Yeah.
I'm just coming to pick you because the police is following me. Some parents fell for it, some parents didn't. My sister and I were just saying, if we did that with my mom, she'd be like, ni sawa, tukutane jela na kukujia. You know, like, let's meet in the prison cell. Like, it's okay. When you get Danny,
Yeah.
see, you've done a mistake. We
Yeah.
talk about the
Pay
mistake
for
as we
it.
proceed.
Okay.
So I'm just saying there's a whole thing of how it is. We culture. And it's a culture, it's a family, it's so much more than just so-and-so is corrupt, so-and-so stole this money, COVID billionaires, it's so much more.
It's those things that when you look at from, just the shallow perspective, you'd be like, why would they do that?
Yes.
But I think a better question to ask is, if I was in, may I mention a name?
No.
No?
Yeah, now that we might not have
Facts.
all the facts.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine, cool.
Just-
If I was in so-and-so's family, would I actually be in that same scandal?
Wow.
I think that's a better day. Because I at least when I'm thinking about this whole thing, I'm trying to think from a point of it's very easy to point the fingers and point the
very
fingers
easy.
and judge, maybe because you have not been involved in anything that has had to make you sign a weird paper
Or open a
give out,
company.
you know, things like that. So, but should you find yourself in such a situation, what
Yeah.
would you do?
Wow.
And I think, Brother Kim, you can probably help us highlight
Okay.
the vices that build up to this larger
Okay.
vice of corruption.
Okay.
Because when we're able to break down those smaller vices, starting with you and I and Kerry, then we're able to see it's these things that build up to corruption that tears down a whole
Yes.
nation.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think on top of what Kerry has said, it being a societal family issue, I think the basics and the genesis of corruption, I trace it in Genesis chapter 3. When the man fell in the
Wow.
Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Now, we have the rules given by God. Thou shalt not eat. And then the serpent, Satan. What's the name of the devil in your mother tongue?
Do I know? Ngoma.
Ngoma. Even ours is Goma.
God is not demons.
It's
Satan.
all that together. Satan. Evil.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
devil. He comes
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he, you know, just takes Eve around.
Yeah.
And as we've seen even in these corruption cases, somehow ladies are involved in it. Kind of, I don't know whether you're the weaker ones in matters, corruption and money too.
We're just believable.
Maybe.
We're
And-
just human.
Yeah, and I think someone, Kerry said something when we were beginning.
I hear Kerry, but
that
yeah.
at times, yes, a company is open under your name. You just given 10,000 and you're so comfortable because your hair and your nails are okay.
But also when I come to you,
Yeah.
Kerry, trust me, Kerry, sorry. Brother Kim, trust me. Nikikuja kwako na nikuchore deal. Hawezi kataa.
Okay, sawa. Anyway,
Oh.
story for another
That
day.
is why
Let's
I
come
think
back to
ladies get
Genesis.
it easy, senior. Because we have it with our grace.
It's feminine
We have it
manner.
Okay.
Hey, ngoja. My friend was being shikwa juzi hapa nje. I was like, officer. Mimi nafanya kazi na huyu.
Sawa.
Na huyu kijana.
Tuko Genesis 3.
Watu waliachiliwa.
Sawa, tuko Genesis
Na sikupatiana
3.
anything.
Na unajua pia hiyo ni ka form of corruption.
Sikupatiana
Ni kama hiyo ni
anything.
kama kutumia who you
Sikupatiana.
are.
No.
Si ameniambia we talk about the basics and go into the genesis. Now, corruption in summary is this. It's a sin nature.
Yeah.
We are fallen. We actually have a corrupt nature in us. Because after Genesis chapter 3, even the language in scripture is man is corrupt. Man is evil. Every inclination of our hearts is towards evil. And what is it in for me? How selfish can I be? So every time we have an opportunity to, in Kenya as they say, to eat, Swahili kukula, you have to think of me, my family, how much land, hata wao, the rest, you know, even that big family, that big, it's our time to get even with them. Actually, there's a day we were joking with a friend of mine, just told me, hata mimi nataka kuonyeshwa hizo mashamba penye ziko, niende nijigawie. Ama, without mentioning names again, you know, people who have big pieces of land, they're like, one of these days Kenyans, tufunguliwe tu, tuambiwe kila mtu hata yeye ajigrabie pako. And you see, that's the attitude and the spirit outside there. Corruption has become so real, it's manifesting to the point now people are more angry. At times even we believers, the proclamations we are making with our mouths, you actually find yourself, what did I just say?
May God forgive.
And that's actually why I was thinking,
Yes.
let's not even take it from that angle
Yes.
of wanafanya.
Yes.
Because
within me.
some of us tukaweza kuwa tu in that
Ukapata tu
position.
chance.
And
You
again,
just need an opportunity.
Remember, the love
It's
of
lack of
money
opportunity.
is the root of all evil.
Evil.
Now, in
But
most corrupt
money
cases,
answereth
money is
all
involved.
things.
Of course, money answereth all things.
Yeah.
So there is no
But
problem
money
with
in the
money.
right- gotten in the
it's in the
right
right
ways,
way.
yeah.
So my kind of definition of what corruption is, I would just say it's a sin element in all of us. So the question is, are we allowing Christ, whether I'm a politician, whether I'm a pastor, whether you're a journalist, whatever sphere of influence God has placed you, have we allowed Christ to work in that corrupt nature in me, so that when I'm looking at Laura's shoes and her car and I am desiring it, do I tell Jesus, help me Jesus, not to desire it? Actually, we are told not to be envious.
And not
And
covetous.
not to be covetous. When I look at someone's wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, am I willing to do anything to even get rid of them? Because we've heard of corrupt cases where someone has been because of, a relationship issue.
Imagine.
So corruption is beyond money, it's beyond land, it's the sin element in me as a human being. I think that's where it begins.
Yeah.
So that when a child is crying in the supermarket, nitakubaia sweet, unyamaze.
Yeah.
There and then, do you know what you're doing? You're like cultivating that sin element in them, selfishness.
Percy, the question.
Full-
I get what I
Foolishness.
want
Yeah.
when I want.
But Percy, a question would be, how do we then chasten our bodies and ourselves to a point where we are completely beat to these things? Because desiring,
Yes.
you know, I mean, God grants the desires of our heart over and above, but how do we chasten ourselves
Yes.
to, number one, this word we've said like in half of our episodes, contentment with godliness being great gain, but even more so, just the way Laura is saying, ni lack of opportunity. Siku moja opportunity itakuja.
Yes,
That's-
what will
that's-
you
Utakuwa
do?
mahali kwa kona fulani watu wanagawiana 5
Mimi niko
million,
na
5
answer
million, 5
direct
million.
ya hiyo
Sema,
swali yako.
sema.
Just die.
Die
Die
to
to
self.
Yeah.
Let's stop being living sacrifices.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A sacrifice should die.
Hallelujah.
Because many of the times we behave on the altar, as in you're refusing to die, so unainua mkono, God, goja dakika moja. Just 1 more minute.
Uko altar lakini
Usiguze.
hauingui.
Yeah, you know, don't touch a certain area of my life. So may the Lord help us
Yeah.
to die to self. And so that when
Amen.
I get that opportunity to arise in that seat of leadership, I'm not arising with self, I'm arising with the interest of Laura and the congregation that I'm leading at heart,
Amen.
knowing that God will meet my need.
Yeah.
And one of my mentor always tells me, Kimacia, can you trust that God will meet your need?
According to his riches in glory.
That's the point.
Yes.
So that
Amen.
the love of these things, trying to,
Inafifia
you know, we always say ni kujipanga for the rainy day. By the time hii kampuni wanitoe, how much have I stored up? Do you know what you're saying? God is impossible. As in God is not possible. It's impossible for God to meet your need.
May God
So let's
forgive
die. Let's trust God to meet our needs. Whether you're a politician, a leader, in whatever capacity you're in.
A human.
I think that's a very, very good way to conclude
Of
this.
course.
Yes.
Die to self, check greed, check envy, check all those things.
Yeah.
Na ile
Simply
point ya Kerry.
die to
Family
self.
frontier. Muhimu
Yes.
sana.
It starts from an individual,
Yes.
and then we check ourselves in our families, and definitely that's how long term it's a ripple effect, and we will transform. So
Shit.
we really.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey.
All right, thank you so much for watching. You can catch us on our social media handles, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and here on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe. So see you on the next one.